Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, why are you in the middle? Yeah, get you out of the way. What's going on there?
Oh.
Evening, gents. Oh, he's put his sunglasses. Evan, put your sunglasses on. Sorry,
When
this is a bad start. I'll be honest.
when you're the franchise player, that's why you're in the middle.
This is a bad start, but me and Evan were talking backstage. Evan has really kindly come on tonight, and he's actually suffering like crazy. He's got laryngitis, bless him. So he's been a right absolute soldier by coming on tonight. So we'll start with you, mate. How are you feeling?
Right, I do want to apologise first to everyone watching. The voices, fuck you, Reese, fuck you.
I was hoping to get my friends back.
And like the viewers can take their pick. I sound like Optimus Prime Rustin, or I sound like Prime Stephen Hawking.
You sound like you generally sound like C-3PO coming back from a night out.
Oh Jesus Christ! Disaster already.
I don't need to try, Catherine. I don't try.
Trying to look
Hey,
cool.
we're all looking cool tonight.
A little boost to Reese's ego in what, less than 2 minutes. There we go. Doesn't take long at all, does it?
That long. It doesn't.
It
take that
doesn't.
long.
How are you, Reese? You good?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Long ass day, but I'm good. Here for a good
Good.
show. This will be fun. How are you?
He's like a Cheshire cat because he knows I can't argue back. I can't shout over him.
I think that's the main reason he decided to come on. He just knew that you were
Disaster.
dying and thought, "Oh, let's do this." No, yeah, tonight's an Old Trafford special because all the season tickets and members have been getting surveys over the last few days and getting their opinions on what they want from the new stadium. So I thought we'll strike while the iron is hot and get everyone's point of views on that. So the whole point of it basically is to gauge what the fans want from Old Trafford and what they want. Now, Evan, I'm going to ask you, surely sending this out to supporters and fans is surely a good thing. You want their points of view in this rather than just leaving it up to shareholders and owners, right?
It is, but I have seen, especially in Ireland, some people can take a bit of offence to it, like the fact that it shouldn't. Me personally, I know if it was Stamford Bridge and they were on about knocking the stadium, I'd lose my fucking shit, or they were screaming for fans to come or whatever. I would absolutely lose my shit, because at the end of the day, that's where the history of the club is. That is where the history of the club is. I know a new stadium will be good for everyone, but mother of God, you're throwing so much away. You can't reminisce on that. Yeah, they'd have little memorials in the new stadium or whatever, but it's just not the same of walking up them steps through the tunnel and looking out over all the seats and looking back and thinking, oh, that's where Ronaldo done that. That's where Jason Park done that. This is where Rooney done that. You know, it's something different. But look, it is nice to see that they are reaching out to fans and are trying to get their opinions in. But at the end of the day, I think it's all a PR stunt. I don't think it means absolutely fuck all to them what they get back at the end of the day. It's just literally to shut fans up.
Oh, okay. So you're seeing it as that they literally won't even read these surveys. They're just going to come straight back and go, "We're going to do whatever we wanted in the first place."
You think the Glazers give a fuck about us here? You think any of them give a fuck what we think? But let's see what John from fucking Manchester thinks about this. They couldn't give one fuck, you know. But look, it is a bit of a PR stunt at the end of the day. Everyone's
Reece?
talking about it. We're talking about it, you know.
Yeah. It's got a lot of people talking. Reese, what's your thoughts on it? Like going out to fans and sort of thing. Are you on the same camp as Evan?
To be honest, I hadn't thought of it like that. But I actually agree. I wasn't thinking about that initially. I was thinking about who their intended target audience is. I think, are you looking for purely the season ticket holders? Are you looking for the casual fans? Because to be fair, like every fan, in my opinion, that goes to a football game matters. Yeah, season ticket holder will go every single week that they can, but I still think every fan that goes to a game deserves to give their opinion heard. Well, because I've only been to Old Trafford once in my life, because I'm way up here, that I'm not entitled to my opinion. Like my opinion matters just as much as anybody else. So as far as I'm concerned,
That's actually That's actually another thing. Is just there's some people who die for United but just can't afford them season holding tickets
I can't
and
always
can't
go.
save up.
It's hard. Like,
Do you know what I mean? I have to save up for ages to try get a single ticket up in the stands. You know, so why should one person have a more of a vote over the next?
exactly, and it is expensive, and I don't blame anyone who thinks, like if I could have a civilized conversation with anybody, but if someone says to me, "Is there a season ticket holder that their opinion matters more," and they give me a fair reason instead of it's just because we go to more games than you, then their opinion means jack shit to me. But if they genuinely say to me, if, for example, I'm a season ticket holder. Well, I'm not. I'm just using an example. I'm a season ticket holder. I go to every single game. I've been games for say 30 years, for example. Take my kids with me. Take my partner, whoever. And then I'm going with Next Generation. I meet friends there, and we just constantly talk about football. We talk about United, and we talk about everything that matters. Then I would say that opinion matters more than myself. I would concede to that fan because that's a long. If it's a fan who's not had the season ticket for a couple of years, and they're saying their opinion matters more than me, I'm going to tell them to fuck off because it doesn't. But I think there's a level of fan who the most level-headed fans are the ones you want to listen to most, not just the fan because they've got a season ticket. I think you've got to get the right perspective from who talks. But to be honest, I agree with you. Like, anyway, Evan, I don't think it really matters who gives their opinion. I can give my opinion, Nathan give his. I don't think it matters at the end of the day because the Glazers have been getting dog holes abuse for years. They don't care. I don't think necessarily Jim Ratcliffe, Brailsford, etc. care either way because I think they're focused primarily on the new Old Trafford or Wembley type thing that they've marked it as. And I think they're so focused on the future, but trying to retain the past in the best way possible. If they knocked down Old Trafford, for example, but they kept key parts like the Munich Tunnel, they kept the Holy Trinity statues, they kept Sir Matt Busby statue, they kept Sir Alex Ferguson statue, I'd be fine with that. But if they just got rid of everything, then what's there to bother with? I think you've got to keep some parts of the legacy, but maintain the fact that Old Trafford isn't what it used to be. Yes, it's still a beautiful stadium, but it doesn't hold what it was. I mean, Gary Neville said it correctly. These are not the stands like the original stands. Like Old Trafford has been blitzed. It survived the blitz. It was rebuilt into what you've got today. And then obviously there was the stadium changes in the early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s. So it's not the name. So it's not the same stands anymore, but it's still the same fan feeling. So I think the most important thing is how do you retain the fan feeling without isolating the fan base, but also taking away something that's historic. And as you said, that's like your stadium is the historic side of the football club because it's where the most important thing is the fans. The fans inside the stadium, that's your own fans, that's what matters most. You've got to get it right by them, you've got to appease them, but you've also got to make sure that you've got what matters most, and that's the club's future, not your own financial future. So if a new stadium was built, for example, and it maintained elements of the Munich Tunnel, it had all the statues that have been built in honour of the legends of the club, I would be fine with that. I don't want to see Old Trafford get knocked down, but I think the right decision at some stage is to move to a new stadium anyway. I don't think you can keep renovating or restoring Old Trafford because I think it's just too much of an expense. And it's hard to do that. Real Madrid managed it with the Bernabeu, but that's because they had the right land and they were able to spend time away from that. I don't know if Man United can do that. I think it's a lot harder. I'm hoping so, but I think the future is looking towards United have to move.
Yeah, it's difficult because it what I would love to see, this is my ideal. I would love a new stadium, but keeping Old Trafford itself, but downsizing it so that you've still got the Munich Tunnel, you've still got all the statues, you've got the Trinity statue, you've got everything that goes with Old Trafford. You downsize it so that the women's team have got somewhere to play, an academy like big cup games in the under 18s, etc. Have big games they can play there, and then you've still got. So you're basically creating this massive sport village. Bit like if you've been to the new camp, you can see how it like reflects in that sort of thing. They've got the new camp, and then they've got the smaller stadium next to it.
The way to go in modern football, charges or no charges, the way to go in modern football, funnily enough, is what the City Group have done with Man City. That entire sports complex that they've got around the Etihad, they've got a training stadium for all their teams to play together. They've got a stadium purely for their women's team. They've got a stadium for their academy teams to play. And then they've got, obviously, the Etihad, where they'll accommodate the men's team that plays there, plus the odd game that the women's team will get to play there. I think that is the way to go if you're one of the big clubs in football. You have to have that sort of complex. Madrid have got that in a way with theirs. So
I would fucking pay to see that.
we 100% would be the perfect combination.
It would actually
men
be
and-
jokes. It would actually be so
That
jokes.
would be
It would
incredible.
be dope. I think
Evening, Trevor,
in a
by the
way
way.
though. Yeah, good to see you. I think the way to go personally for clubs that want to sustain their future and they want to go into the future and dominate even more, it's a sports complex. It's why right now when you look at on a football field, Man City can't be caught because they're already so prepared that they can spend money and bring in all these players.
They're also in the midst of building a new hotel, so they are as well. I don't know
exactly
if
like
they're as well.
No, exactly. Like they're so forward thinking, and yeah, like and I said, like charges or no charges, I don't care about the charges. I just care about beating them on the football field and beating them to trophies. Like end of the day, that's what matters to me. I'm not paying attention to their legal troubles. I care about beating them to trophies. That's what matters most. Just like same with Liverpool, I don't care about their issues behind the scenes. I care about smashing them in the league. I care about smashing them in cup games, beating them to trophies. So. And Evan will be the same with Arsenal. Would have said Tottenham, but we already know that's a foregone conclusion. They're not in any trophy conversation. But
Exactly.
but it's still important.
And it's interesting you say Tottenham because arguably they've got one of the best stadiums in the country.
Yeah, they do. I would say they've got
they're up and coming. I actually drove past it today. Funny enough.
I think Tottenham only spend money to stay mediocre. Like that's all Tottenham do is just to stay mediocre. They don't.
Well, they've gone down the route of like concerts and football, like not American football, and big.
They want to be entertainers. I think Tottenham want to be the entertaining side of football. Like they want the glamour that is you get the big names in from across the world who actually will bring in an audience. Whereas eventually Tottenham's streak of not winning the trophy will end. No idea when though, and I say that not as a dig, but I just say no idea when. But
well, let's ask Evan when are Tottenham going to win a trophy, Evan?
Well, it won't be in the next 10 years anyway. They're not spending big money,
and not unless they get a different change of attitude at the top.
Yeah, like Levy is just doing enough to keep him at around third and fourth and fifth, in around that. The past 3 seasons they've been floating in around that. Levy is just doing enough. Like we said there, it's purely like the American football drawing in money, not pumping in, not buying these name superstars, these big name superstars. And Kane and Son carried that team on their back of the past forever. How long? I think Lucas was probably the last big name apart from Madison. Now Madison is suddenly a big name for them now as well. Like Richarlison
on an English level, I would say yes, but I get your point. I do get what you mean by that. Mm-hmm.
But they're not buying in the likes of they're not buying into the likes of a Bruno, or they're not buying in the likes of a Haaland. Do you know what I mean? Big names like that can actually push them forward and actually getting challenging.
Because
they've almost stalemated at the point where it's like when Arsenal moved into the Emirates and they were just quite happy finishing fourth every year just to get Champions League money. It's that's sort of to be the natural rotation for Tottenham at the minute. They're just trying to replay.
And it's boring for Spurs fans. Like it's pure boring. There's no excitement in it. Like even with Chelsea, yeah, we have our bad spells, but we do pump money. We do buy some big and exciting names and signings to get the energy going, and we do go on good runs. We do win trophies every now and then. We're not in a stalemate of just fucking fifth, fourth, sixth, fifth, fourth. That whole.
You see the difference in certain fan bases where there are certain fan bases who at some stage will be happy to accommodate the loss of a trophy in the sense of the club's stability to then challenge. And then there's me who's like, regardless, I want to see United win trophies every single fucking season. It might be a bit insane that United won't do it every season, but it's if you're a fan of a certain type of club, you're gonna want that every single season, but nah, he's just fucked in the throat, mate. Not literally, but he's got laryngitis.
It's disaster. Trevor wasn't here at the start. I have laryngitis.
Yeah, he's got laryngitis.
But
bless him.
But I think it will get to the point because eventually Arsenal fans were getting sick and tired of being taken for a mug. Like where they were They were competing for years at the highest level, winning trophy after trophy. And they went 9 years without winning anything, and eventually they done it. I think Tottenham fans now, it's 15, 16 years since they last won a trophy. I think it will get to the point where their fans will absolutely get sick and tired of being in the conversation of, we're supposed to be a big club, why have we not won anything? They will eventually fight back, and they will demand some form of interference from above, saying, can you actually make us fucking compete? Because let's be real, they've had two of the best ever managers to win trophies, and they still couldn't do it. They've had Jose Mourinho, and they've had Antonio Conte, and you still can't do it. Look at Postecoglou. No. Postecoglou's won a lot of trophies in his career, and he's still prohibited. Why would I want to be Evan, you clown? Like, there's elements to this game. There's elements.
Right, before we go too far into Tottenham fan TV and stuff like that,
it's not insulting them. It's just
no. I
agree with you. Facts are facts, and they're boring.
Yeah,
they're not exciting. They're a filler team in the top, and they're barely in a big six. They're barely in the big six argument anymore.
I agree. There's your TikTok there, Evan. Where are Tottenham next going to win a trophy?
We're going to clip this.
Clip that up, right? So I actually managed to do the survey that United sent out without having a supporter ID. You can call me a certified hacker, or it's literally just putting a 0 when it asks for your supporter ID, whatever. So here's some of the questions that they were asking, and I thought some of them are quite interesting.
Go on then. I haven't bothered to look at this survey. I was too busy working all day.
So this is a question. Manchester United is considering a number of potential long-term stadium regeneration options that will help all fans and visitors have a world-class experience when at Old Trafford. This could include a new stadium, renovation of the existing stadium, or development of the campus around the stadium.
Okay.
Overall, what is your attitude towards the Old Trafford regeneration project? Excuse me. And then it just goes very, very negative, fairly negative, needs a positive, negative, fairly blah blah blah.
If you look at it from both sides, the negative is the expenditure and the timing, but also how will you accommodate fans? How will you accommodate the fans getting into the stadium? How will it look like? Will you have to shut a stand down and do it stand by stand as you regenerate? Do you block off the whole area, for example, over a summer period where you don't even let fans who want to come into the mega store and have stadium tours? Do you block them out? But you at least advertise it in the right way, saying, we're going to have to spend big because we're going to have to do this. Just bear in mind, you will not get access. Now, the problem with that in the same as negative is you're isolating the fans who want to see it, who may not get the chance. The positive, however, is it is nice, to be fair.
It is. It's beautiful.
When you look at the positive, though, it shows that they've actually got the ambition to invest money into the stadium itself and the area surrounding it. They've already said they're going to spend 70 million on the training ground, which is needs more than 70. Let's be real; it needs at least treble that because it's way off course. So they've already shown that level of commitment. If you're willing to show the commitment to the stadium, we're actually going to seriously invest in it and try and fix it, and you're going to try and improve what's already there and ensure that fans will still get to enjoy themselves, then in that way, I'm all for it. The problem is how you are actually going to, one, present the funds for it. You're going to have to show proof of funds to this because it's not going to be cheap. And two, you're going to have to seriously convince people that you are not going to be able to see this place until it's fully done. That's going to be very hard, especially for a home game. You saw how it affected certain teams. We've already mentioned Tottenham about their stadium, which is incredible. But look at the impact when they had to play Wembley. Like, look at the impact they had when they had to play Wembley. It completely changed the dynamic of them. It's the cost. I don't know, like, where United realistically would play football because they're not going to stadium share with anyone again. Like, United will not stadium share with City at the Etihad. So when we've already done that before when Old Trafford got blitzed. But I actually don't know where United are going to play this time. If they do end up having a stadium share, they have to rent some other place. United are not going to all of a sudden go out and play Wembley. That's not going to happen. So realistically, where would they go?
Well, I'll ask you this one, Evan. So the next one was, we are reviewing various options in order to create a world-class stadium experience. There may be some trade-offs which could impact fans during any regeneration project. We would like to understand your opinion regarding specific improvements and any potential trade-offs. So basically what they're saying is, what is your priority in this list of things? So
Yeah.
it basically asks you to drag each one to like where you think it. So
From highest priority to lowest priority, I'm assuming.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
Greg, go on,
one
I'll
of
let you
That's
finish.
fair.
one of them is my seat is better. Old Trafford still feels like home. Historic elements are preserved. The project will result in a world-class stadium and matchday experience. Attending a match at Old Trafford does not become unaffordable. I will miss the minimum number of matches due to construction. The project will result in a campus which provides world-class entertainment, community, and recreational facilities all year round. What's your thoughts when I read those to you, mate?
Right. Well, for me, priority would be cost, right? You don't want to charge fans an arm and a fucking leg, as bad as the prices are now already, right? Fans pay enough money to watch soccer, whether it's at home, paying for it on the telly, having to watch it in the pubs getting upcharged because they're in a pub, or actually going to the matches and seeing the matches. Like I said before, the prices of tickets now are soaring and it's crazy. Um, Secondly, I would think historical vibes. I'm just pure nostalgia. And even when I walk to Stamford Bridge, like I said to you, I look over across there, across the other side of the stadium. That's where that happened. That's where this happened. Love going seeing this, love going seeing that. I think the whole nostalgia and the whole historic vibe of it is kind of a priority for me. I could be wrong now with other fans, but I think that should be the thing. Holding on to them memorial pieces.
Mm.
The seating, what else was there? The seating and
There was my seat is better. Old Trafford still feels like home. Will result in a world-class stadium experience and missing number of games due to
yeah,
works.
I think for the newer fans, yeah, the new world class stadium experience, it is nice to have new things. But majority of the fans that are following United are not are over the age of 12. Do you know what I mean? For the likes of us around our age, higher up, do you know what I mean? It is nice to have new things. But if you remember back, and we always talk about nostalgia is always a big thing, and it would be nice to be able to get your drink filled up from the bottom, like, do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Or have a nice decent roof with a bit of water. The water doesn't come down on top of you, like, or have cushioned seats and all this kind of crack. But like, you don't go there for the cushion seats. You don't go there for the points filling up from the bottom. You don't go there for this brand new experience. You go there to watch United at United's home. You go there to watch your team, to support the club you love and what you grew up watching. That's what fans want. So it is. And yes, there is new fans coming up, and there is, when we're another 10 years down the line and we're getting our children into it, like, yeah, eventually it's either upgrades or a new stadium. And unfortunately, uh, I don't want to see a new stadium. Even from an outsider's point of view,
Mm.
Stamford Bridge, or sorry, Old Trafford is Old Trafford. It's the theatre of dreams, like. Do you know what I mean? We've lost there a couple of times, we've won there a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many memorable moments there. To see it knocked down to the last brick would be heart wrenching, not just for United fans, but throughout the whole soccer community. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of fans out there who have never seen Old Trafford before.
Mm.
And to have it knocked before anyone's got to see it yet, I think the best thing to be doing is either upgrade it, pump the heap of money that it needs to upgrade it, build out the stands, keep everything the same, build out the stands, upgrade the seats if you want to, upgrade the system around it, all that kind of crack, upgrade the roof.
And get disabled fans away from the away fans as well.
Exactly. Or you can use it as a training ground. And I believe if you do put the women in there, the women, they will get more support in there. They 100% will. Because like I said, a lot of people haven't seen Old Trafford and will want to go to a game at Old Trafford.
Mm.
So that's the whole part of the experience. And then you'd heard, what was it? I said the training ground and the women get a stadium. I
Yeah.
think, or the upgrade as well. Like, do you know what I mean? But I just think knocking Old Trafford is blasphemy. Knocking any stadium that's sacred to a club is absolute blasphemy. So it is. Like, imagine no more Stamford Bridge, no more Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? It is a shame White Hart Lane has gone the way it's gone.
Yeah, and things like Highbury, I never got the opportunity to go to Highbury, and I was every time I've spoken to someone about that stadium, they said it's in like world football, it was the best stadium because it was just the atmosphere and the things that went around. Like
all Arsenal had to do at Highbury was just spend a bit of money just to increase the size of it, because they were, ironically, they said like their exact words for moving to Highbury was so they can challenge the likes of Bayern and Barca and all that, but they were already challenging Bayern and Barca and beating them at Highbury. Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah, like, and that's what put Arsenal in downfall is that as well. Like, is that new stadium nearly fucking bankrupt them? Like, do you know what I mean couldn't afford to pay the likes of Ashley Cole? That's why he came to Chelsea. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And Julia makes a great point about new stadiums becoming a soulless bowl. The architecture team must account for noise because Old Trafford has one, if not the best atmospheres in Europe. Exactly, I've been to the Emirates, and you get a sort of 10-minute uproar of noise, and then it just dies out. It's just
I walked past it twice.
It becomes a soul. I went for an FA Cup game quite a few years ago.
Yeah, I've walked past it twice. I walked past it twice, and I was with a mate of mine, and my exact words to him was, "This is the best peace and quiet I've ever had." Because it was just quiet, and there was a game on. I can't remember who they were playing, but it was peace and quiet. I was like, I can't hear nothing. This is good.
But that soulless bowl comment is so true. Like, I remember when Chelsea came out with design ideas there. Did any of you remember that? Do any of you remember?
I've seen a few. Designs? Some of them look good, to be fair. Like, some of them look good.
There was one prominent one though, and it literally looked like a toilet bowl.
Yeah,
and it was being evidently pushing to be the actual design for the new stadium, and it literally just looked like a toilet bowl. Do you remember them pans you see in the hospital? That's what it literally looks like. Bedpan. It literally looked like a fucking bedpan, like.
I've seen some of the constant designs that keep coming out for the architecture for United are always seems to be based on Bayern's Allianz Arena. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and to be fair, it is probably, and it's in the top 3 stadiums for me in Europe. And there actually is a soul and an atmosphere to it. But I don't want, if United move to a new stadium, I don't want it to look identical to a stadium that's already in Europe, because that takes away what they're trying to do as well. I mean, the Allianz Arena's been around for 15 years now. No, sorry, I take that back, 19 years. It's been 20 years. 20 years next year is the Allianz Arena for Bayern. When I look at it in the same way, like, I wouldn't want United Stadium to look the exact same, because then that takes away what Bayern's new legacy is for their stadium. I think that's cold.
But I prefer, like, if you look down from a sky view of all the stadiums, we'll just take England for example. I prefer the square, we'll call it, shaped stadium over just a fucking oval or an egg shape. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's horrible to look at.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree.
It gives a stadium characteristics. Do you know what I mean? Having the away end open. Like, even if you look at the Aviva Stadium in Ireland, like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful
There's
stadium.
A bit of characteristic in them. Do you know what I mean? Beautiful stadium, and there's also characteristic, and it's also modern as well. Like, do you know, it's continuously being upgraded. So it is. So, like, you have to keep the characteristic and what is United, and what is the theatre of dreams. There, like.
Yeah. I think it is hard. I think the hardest thing for them is if they'll be able to convince fans that they're going to knock it down. I don't think they should knock it down, but I still think maybe United should look to move to something a little bit more modern. It's hard to keep the atmosphere and history in something new, but you can also make something new not as great as the original or what followed it because of what has transpired throughout human history, but you can still make whatever follows something exciting and enjoyable. It will be hard to do though, but if they do move, I just hope they just do not knock it down. It'll be horrible.
I think the only way
there'll be parades and fucking absolute protests. There'll be links of people sitting outside the grounds, blocking diggers, blocking everyone. They won't. I'm telling you now, United fans are relentless. So they are. They will not leave that stadium get knocked down.
The only way for me, realistically, is that they just downsize it, make the repairs necessary. It doesn't have to be state of the art. Just make the repairs necessary so it's a functioning stadium for the women's teams and the big cup games and like the youth cups and stuff like that. and then have this state-of-the-art stadium that you can use to do whatever the fuck you like with. You can have concerts, you can have big boxing, like, because there's always been this uproar that we can't have big boxing
Seeing
events
Anthony
up north.
Joshua get sparked Old Trafford would be beautiful.
Oh, it would be great, wouldn't it? Tyson Fury versus
tell-
AJ at Old Trafford.
Absolute menace.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching that bitch get
He
sparked.
is a glass
But,
chin, and it was beautiful
yeah.
to see him go down the first round.
You mentioned there about downsizing Old Trafford, though. You know what's interesting as well is they were trying to say it's impossible, but see if you downsized it, but every single United team played there. I mean, like the men's team and the women's team, they all trained at Carrington. You made Carrington an actual complex for them all to play, and then you've got like, well, they've got their own stadiums, but you give more than one or two games a season to the women's team. You give some games to the academy teams. Let them have an experience at Old Trafford as well. But I think the problem for Old Trafford is because it's such a big stadium anyway that it's hard to repair. I mean, like, there's one prime example of a stadium that's unfortunately going to get knocked down the next 2 years, and it's the San Siro. It's hard to renovate the San Siro because it was upgraded for Italia 90. They made it far too big, and then they've been unable to bring it down. So I think the problem now, obviously, they're looking at new stadiums when they're going to, but you can't, like, knocking that down is a disgrace. That should never get knocked down. Like, it's
with Old Trafford, they've been the idea was for a long time is that they were going to extend the Alex Ferguson stand and make that 2-tier so that you could fit another 10, 15,000 in this also.
Yeah.
But then you've still got this hanging over you. You've still got so many repairs, and it needs so much renovation because it is outdated. It is quite. I mean, I haven't been, I'll be honest, for a good 5 or 6 years. No, maybe a bit less than that actually. It's probably like 4 years. And yeah, you could see it just needed renovation. But if you're so set on a brand new stadium, you can't knock it down. You have to have a use for it, whether it's a museum or leaving it as it is and having it, because there's enough land. If you've been to Manchester and you've been to Old Trafford, there is enough land around it and enough land that they can buy.
See, that's where it comes into the money side of things, right? I do know a little bit about. I'm a site engineer, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, it's.
I was going to ask you about that as well. Funnily enough,
he wears a hard hat.
It's cheaper to knock the whole thing. You don't have to buy new land. You build off the foundations that are already there. Obviously, upgrade a few foundations as you expand out the way.
Yeah.
You know, but it does come down to commercial side of things as well. Like, and at the end of the day, Glazers will think money. You know.
Yeah. So Trevor mentions there you have to have new rails, etc., etc. You can't just have repaint and say it's repaired.
That's the hardest part. That's what I was going to mention because that's what I was going to ask as an impact. Because obviously, say like site fit, that railway line is a one line, but it's behind the stadium. So even that, like, you can't just build over it unless you were, I don't know, I'm assuming like the only other way you could do is if you were to build an overlapping bridge area over the train, like over the train track. But I don't know how that would work. I don't know how you could accommodate that.
Say that again.
So behind Old Trafford, there's a rail line. There's a rail track
directly next to it.
There's a rail track behind Old Trafford, and it's not covered or anything. You know, like some train stations have like overlapping bridge areas you can walk across, or like there's nothing like that. So it's just straight. It's just a straight open area that you can see, but they've never built anything over it, like a bridge or anything like that. So it's not affecting the rail line, so you can't really get across. So I don't know like what they could realistically do. They could improve that area, but not ruin the train line because it's
you get off line. And it's literally stairs straight down to the players' entrance, isn't it? That's where the metro stops.
Well, why don't they extend out over that? Because in Ireland, in Croke Park, there's a railway line right behind the stadium. So there's
ouch.
He's done
you there, mate. Ouch.
That is scandalous.
That's brutal.
But right behind Croke Park, right, the GAA stadium, there's a train line right there. We actually built out over the thing. There's actually some of the seats are actually over the track line. So why can't it be an option? Obviously, put in down the line.
That's why I was wondering why it's never been considered.
Yeah,
because they would have done a lot more for certain stands where you can, as you say, extend the stadium back if you wanted to. And then
Because
you
that
can see
goes, you walk down the Munich tunnel off the left-hand side of the stadium, and then you got the players' entrance on your right, and there's the stairs that lead from the metro down, isn't there? Yeah.
it's the
I
way
suppose it
walk-
would be
the way I
difficult to
walked
include
in.
it. Yeah, it's where you'd have the Munich tunnel as well, so you have to try and take
It's
that into
council
consideration.
cost though, because let's be real, they don't own the stadium; it belongs to Manchester Council. So that's the hardest thing as well. It's like having to
Manchester
pay.
Council will jump on this like that.
100%.
Like
You'd hope
any
so.
any sort of decision that is made, they will throw whatever money is necessary. Jim Ratcliffe will go,
hoping
we want to build the best sports village in the world, and Manchester Council will be like, all right, you know,
I certainly hope
think
so.
how
I
much
just look at-
money. If you think how much money Manchester United and City have brought to like Manchester economy of tourism,
No, of course.
they're going to throw anything. I think I saw. Hang on, let me.
And along with upgrading the stadium, you also have to upgrade the surrounding supporting roads, footpaths, buildings as well. Like there's all
Streets
these
level.
statistics to go into it as well. Like you know what I mean?
So this is
Yeah.
what Keane sent me earlier, or sent in one of the chats earlier. Manchester United's regeneration project could be worth 7.3 billion per year to the UK economy. Assessments by a global firm predict huge impacts. And a 100,000 seater stadium would house 92,000 jobs, an extra 17,000 homes, and 1.8 million visitors. And club will not seek public money. That's according to the Daily Mail. So
The only thing is though, is if you're not, and that does sound good on paper. Like that sounds really good. Like the most important things there, apart from like not seeking public money, the most important things there is jobs, accommodation, tourist attraction.
it says that the club will not seek, but it doesn't say that the city may not offer.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Now they may not seek or look for public money, but as I said earlier on, the one thing that the ownership side have got to do if they don't want to go for public money, they have to show the proof that they're willing to use their own money. They have to. They have to pump that in. You can't just all of a sudden go
It'll be
from.
proof of funds. That's they'll show bank accounts. So
They really have to. They have to. Yeah, they can't get away from that. There's no way.
And a lot of jobs
deemed-
now, when you tender for jobs or anything like that, or like pharma jobs or any primary
you
care
must
centers,
prove. Yeah.
the main contractor are more likely often than not asked to show proof of funds, so that way the main contract doesn't go bust during the project.
Yeah. Especially with what they're looking to pump in, they'd have to.
Given all of that, chaps, the final question of the survey that Man United sent out. By the way, this was supposed to reach 500,000 people. So members and season ticket holders. So they should be getting about 500,000 responses to this survey.
But see, that's completely where I disagree as well. There's way more than 500,000 United supporters globally. There's millions upon millions,
and there's so many fan groups worldwide.
Yeah,
international fan groups are huge.
Yeah, now I do understand that there is a focus group you need to look at, like, but you're just looking at the extreme fucking hardgoers, the lads who are like, obviously not everyone's like an extremist, but and more often than not, if you're a season ticket holder, you're going to be extremely passionate about United, like.
Yeah. Final question in the survey they sent is: to achieve our aim of delivering a world-class stadium experience, both new build and current stadium redevelopment options are under consideration. Which option would you prefer? New build, redevelopment of the existing stadium, and the third option is unsure, need more information. What are we voting for? Not what you think they will go for. What are you voting for?
I'll be honest with you, I would actually likely go for the third one. Not in the sense of what I've already said earlier on, where you want something new and something different as an experience, but existing and originality is important to club culture as well. I think by choosing unsure, it's actually because when you choose
looks like an assist or something. That's what that looks like to me.
That honestly gives me Allianz Arena vibes in the same
so
way.
This
is just copying them.
So viewers that haven't seen it yet, this is what Sky Sports were reporting earlier, that the mayor or the whatever he is of Manchester was at a conference today, the Labour Party conference. This was unveiled, a model of the sort of Manchester Salford area, and this was the sort of first mock-up since this survey sort of gone out of what the stadium could look like.
It looks disgusting. It looks like a fucking. The roof looks like a blow up fucking balloon around it. Like
it looks like Like these sweets that used to be around years ago. It was like pink and red sweets. I can't remember what they were
Oh
called.
yeah,
But
I know
it
the
looks
ones. Yeah.
it looks just like that. My biggest concern though is, and why I said unsure, is when you look at what I've already said in terms of like history is important, club culture is important, the fan base, getting them on side and actually presenting the right way, but also the funds you've got to prove, getting the importance of it. Unsure because you actually don't know how they would actually do it. Like I could say all of a sudden, you know what, I'm actually for a new build, but then they could go and make a new build and they might completely disgrace the club's history, or they can go and regenerate the current area and they could with all the money they spend, they could end up making it worse as well. Like
Yeah.
it has happened before, where clubs have hired stadium workers and top construction companies to rebuild their stadium, and they've fucked it up, and it's taken them
Big
years
time.
to fix it. So I think unsure is not in the sense of sitting on the fence, but unsure is actually quite safe because you don't know how they're going to do it. You'd want them to come out, and for every single person that texts unsure, for me personally, whoever answers these surveys, whoever gets these surveys, they should be replying to every single person, asking them, why did you pick unsure? And actually answer their questions.
There should be
And
a comment section down below.
there should be. Yeah, and just saying, like, this is why I picked on, why have you selected this? I want to know how you would go about this.
Yeah.
Because you can say regeneration, you can say new build all you want, but how are you actually going to do it? Who are you going to go and get to do the job? Are you actually going to listen to the fans? Are you actually going to look at what the stadium was built on? Are you going to look at the history? Are you going to accommodate what's around the stadium? Or are you just going to say, all right, let's get something new and hope that the fans will like it? Like, there's not automatic. Like, Spurs fans have built the best looking stadium in terms of a club football in England, but they're lucky their fans actually like that stadium. Imagine the fans hated that stadium. You would have fucking
Yeah.
lost. You would have lost those fans forever.
To me personally, right, there's only two options. If this was Stamford Bridge and it was me in this situation, there's only two options I'd be happy with.
Yeah.
Upgrade the current stadium, build it out, add more seats, build up, upgrade everything in it. It'll
Yep.
still be Stamford Bridge, just newer.
Yeah.
Or leave Stamford Bridge alone and build a new stadium on another plot. That's the only thing I would be happy with. If I saw Stamford Bridge knocked, I'd be absolutely heartbroken. So I
I
would.
think that's
Heartbroken.
very fair, mate. I don't.
I
They're,
think
they're the
that's
only two options that fans should be happy with. Anything else, I think it's blasphemy. And I think if United don't do anything, or if United do anything other than them two options, you're going to have absolute chaos.
I think Real Madrid did it right. End of the day, they went to their training ground and they just completely rebuilt over the stadium, and they didn't disgrace the stadium. They just built over it and made it bigger and better, and now they're kicking everybody's heads in on the field still. I think that is the way it should be, but I don't think United are going to do it. If United do that though, then I'd be okay with that, because then you've
I
got
think
the
for
sports
me,
complex.
you've got the best of both worlds. That I would go down that route. I would have all. You're basically asking for everything and everything, and I think
It's 2 billion to do that. It's about
Minimum.
2.5, 3 billion tops to do that, according to what though a lot of experts have said about that. Like how much it will cost to do that in comparison to knocking it down.
They'll make that back in a year.
Oh yeah, they would.
With a whole new complex and a whole new stadium and hotels and restaurants, everything goes with it. They'll make that map back in a space of 12 months easily. And that's not even going down the route of having that's just revenue generated from those ventures. Then you're talking about on the field success. If we got into the Champions League, you're talking you got the world's your oyster at that point.
It's not just that as well. Like when you look at this is what I find funny about not gonna lie, that would break him. He would never happen.
Imagine it.
He would deny the contract on site. Like Evan would deny the contract on site. I know that.
Full on, I would. If I was offered the job, I'd have to protest against it. If they could offer me all the money in the world, I wouldn't have the heart to be on that project.
I agree.
I think you're better than me.
I think it would be interesting is when you look at certain clubs, like certain fan bases who have come out online and said they want to have like a new stadium, and one of them was obviously Newcastle. All right then, unserious football club, but yeah, sure. But they want to have a new stadium. They want all this, and I'm like, okay, you want a new stadium, fine. You've already got a fantastic atmosphere. They've got a fantastic fan base who've been there even during their shit years. I will give them that. Their fans at least were going there when they were rocked to the core. But if they were to go and build a new stadium, they don't have what we have. They don't have what Arsenal has. They don't have what Chelsea has. To a degree, they don't have what Liverpool has. They don't have the revenue gulf to command such a job. Like United can do all that, but United make over close to 800 million a year on revenue. Chelsea make about what 600 something like that a year revenue.
Yeah,
600
give
million.
or take, yeah.
So Chelsea can afford to do that without Todd Bowley pumping all his money in. They can easily do that. Like Chelsea can build a whole they can renovate Stamford Bridge and the whole area, and Chelsea will make that back with their revenue like that. Arsenal can do a whole lot more to the toilet bowl. We're just sticking with the toilet bowl because that seems to be the element of the whole thing. But they can get away with it.
Bedpan.
Exactly. Liverpool can do it as well. I mean, look what they've just done to they've done it to Millwood. Everyone wrote them off for Millwood, saying, "Why would you spend so much money?" But they've completely gazumped people with that training ground. They've done all that. Now, the City one is a little bit more controversial about what their revenue is, but they can still prove the amount of money they're actually winning through competitions they regularly compete in, where they can at least be asked, "Well, go and prove your revenue." They'll actually have to show it, so they can at least flip it on Newcastle. But Newcastle have just got the rich owner; they haven't got the revenue to do this. So it would take them quite a while. But once they eventually do get it in, it will be frightening. But United could easily do it. I think they should. I think they encourage them. I think United should go and do it personally. United should follow the Real Madrid approach. The question is, do they want to? I think Ratcliffe, to a degree, he's fascinated by Wembley, and I don't disagree. Wembley's beautiful. I've been to Wembley twice. It's gorgeous, but that's Wembley. It's totally different. I think that's for a whole different element of football and entertainment, whereas that's not what it's about. So I think you cannot use Wembley as the example. For me, Man United should be using the argument of, do we go down the Bayern Munich approach and the Juventus approach, where they just go from their historic stadiums and they get a whole new stadium that's their own and they control the revenue? Or do they still control the revenue, but they go down the side of, we're just going to completely renovate and upgrade what we've got, and that's the Bernabeu approach? It's one or the other. You cannot use the Wembley approach, in my opinion. That's not United at all. It should be Bernabeu versus Allianz Arena and the Allianz Stadium. That's your argument for me.
I am in agreement. Evan, are you in agreement?
Yeah, I'm 100% there.
He's in agreement.
This needs to be clipped because I can't believe the three of us are 100% on this.
Oh, it'll probably.
We have all agreed, and that is a wonderful thing. Now, I'm bored of talking about sport. It is time for you guys to disagree, and this is where we have some arguments. It is another top 10 before 10, and this one is an absolute stormer. Not one of my best, I'll be honest, but this could cause some arguments between you.
Is it football related or non-football?
No, it's never football related. Reece, you've been on the show many times.
You never know. You could flip a switch. That's why I asked.
Absolutely.
No, that is the whole point of this show, is that we talk shit about football and sport for the last 50 minutes, and now talk absolute bollocks.
I'm intrigued.
I love it.
So the top 10 this week is the top 10 beer and cider brands.
Well,
I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time, Reece, because we've done this before in the past. I'm going to give you guys 4 lives to guess.
Hold on now.
This is hard because I don't.
No, is it lager and cider?
Let me give you some of the parameters. So this isn't the best selling altogether. This
is it actually
people,
the best?
What they thought was their favorite. So personal choices were taken into account. This was a YouGov survey taken in Q2 of 2024.
That's fine. That was just gone. Okay, that's fine.
Beer and cider. So this is only about a few months old, if that. So
Is
I'm
this
giving you
global?
guys.
Is this global
I'm gonna-
survey?
I'm
This
gonna
is
go.
UK. This is UK.
We just do one each, alternating. All right, I'm gonna go off the bat. I'm gonna say straight away. I'm gonna go with an easy guess. I'm gonna say Guinness.
You're bang on. Guinness is number 1 in the list.
Fucking get in.
Well, that was a kind of an obvious one now.
Hard to make.
I'm gonna go bold, right? And I'm gonna stick with the Irish theme, and I'm gonna say Bulmers or Magners, as you would call it.
I love Bulmers. That is good. Even though I don't drink as much, but when I do have a drink, it's Bulmers. I like Bulmers.
I will give you Magners. That is in at number 7.
I'm gonna.
7.
It's interesting because these people could be absolute clowns, but I really do like it.
Exactly.
I might save one of my picks for later, so I'm gonna go Heineken.
Heineken,
Oh,
bang on.
classic.
Number 5.
Right, I might go bold again. I have a few safe options, but I just want to get the bold out of the way, and I'm gonna go Moretti.
Moretti, you have lost a life. Moretti is not in the top 10.
Oh,
So you have 3 lives left.
That was in my list as well. I'm gonna say one of
Yeah?
my I'm gonna say one of my favourites, but I have a feeling it's not in the list. I'm gonna say Corona.
Corona's bang on. Number 9 in the list.
definitely in it. That was definitely in it.
It's pretty much I have one every New Year. I love Corona, to be fair.
I can't drink Corona anymore.
I have it to celebrate furlough. That's all I drink it for.
I have it without lemon lime 'cause I'm allergic, but but
Little lime.
I'm
in
broken.
there.
I'm broken by both. I'm broken by both.
Right, I'm gonna go with a healthy course.
That is another life gone. You are down to 2 lives. Coors
Really?
is not in the top 10.
Really?
Seriously?
Wow.
Of course.
I absolutely hate this disgusting shit, but I'm gonna guess it. Carling.
You're down to your last life, chaps. Carling is not in the top 10.
I thought we had 4
I
lives
thought we had
each.
4 each. Yeah, 4 each.
No, this was a team game.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
we need to discuss those.
here was me doing the carrying job. All right.
Okay, we need
one-
to discuss this.
So let me just give you what you're missing. You're missing 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10.
So we've
All right,
named.
okay.
So we've named Corona, Heineken, Guinness,
Magners.
So there's still we've got 6 left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left.
Right. Okay, Reese.
Oh,
No, sorry, 6. You were correct. Sorry, my bad. 6.
yeah,
Reese, I'm gonna give you a name, and I know it gets a lot of hate. Right.
yeah.
Strongbow. Would Strongbow be a big English drink?
I was thinking that because a lot of people, especially here, drink Strongbow dark fruits and all that as well.
Yeah, it's a real summer drink, like.
And they did say cider, so I'm thinking like cider's an impact and Strongbow is nice because you've got
Yeah.
that, and I would.
Wait! I have it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Do you trust me?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Let's go with a Copperberg.
You locking in Copperberg?
Yeah.
What do you think, Reese?
Copperberg's a great drink. Yeah.
Number 4 on the list.
Yeah.
Is Copperberg.
I'm gonna go in with it as a. I'm gonna take a suggestion. I'm gonna go with it because it is a popular drink. I'm gonna say Strongbow.
Yeah.
Strongbow is in.
So we need 4 to go.
Right.
He's
And
got
how many
number
2 lives
2.
left, do we?
Don't want to say.
Number 2, number 6, number 8, and 10. One
There's
life remaining.
There's no way Carlsberg's on this list because it's ranked rotten.
You think?
I think it's ranked rotten. I think
I'm not a fan of Carlsberg either, but that is a bold statement. Like.
Yeah, it probably will be because same with Carling. I don't know. That's hard. I'm trying to go with other ones I
Remember,
know.
you already. I'll give you a hint. You already said Carlin, so don't say it again because I'll take it.
Okay.
True.
You think
don't depend on
the
it.
advertisement Carlsberg has like?
Yeah, I don't. Wait, what other ones? Because I'm shocked that Coors is not on this.
What about Peroni? Would you go Peroni?
Oh, come on, Cheryl. Yeah, Peroni. Yeah.
Would you go Peroni?
Yeah.
We lock that in, will we?
Yeah.
You locking in Peroni?
Yeah.
Game over, chaps. Unfortunately.
Wow.
Peroni does not make the list.
How?
So, which number would you like first? 2, 6, 8, or 10?
I think we go ascending order. I think because I'm really intrigued.
I want to
So
hear this. Yeah,
I'll start at the
100%.
bottom. Number 10, Budweiser.
Oh, fuck off.
There you go. Fatal
Bud.
Firestar straight in there.
I
Bud.
thought that took a
Budweiser.
hit in like.
What's up, Fatal Firestar? Good to see you, bud. I forgot about Budweiser. I
I
forgot.
swear I didn't say Budweiser because I thought it took a hit over in America. Was that not Budweiser?
Yeah, because
It probably was Budweiser, but I think it's just because it's so popular because it's a cheap lager and a cheap beer in the pubs around here, isn't it?
I don't get why Coors or Coors Light isn't on this list.
I
Like,
can't
is it-
believe Coors.
That's because it's
and
piss
Coors Light.
water.
even though
Nah,
it's piss
Coors
water,
is
it's
nice.
still like people. It's just like folk that just drink Jack Daniels. Like it might not be as great, but people go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 8 was Kronenberg.
Cronenberg. I would have never got that.
I've never
I
had
didn't
it.
think you would.
Never
It is
drunk it,
minging.
so no idea.
It is minging. It is so bitter and so strong for a lager. It's not nice at all.
Yeah.
I would never have gotten that.
What's the next one?
Number 6 surprised me that you didn't get it. Was San Miguel.
Miguel.
See, please tell me the next one isn't Desperado.
No, of course it isn't.
Thank God, because San Miguel.
But still, I'm
San
surprised
Miguel
you
is just an
didn't get
upgrade
it.
on Desperado. You know what I mean? Like it's an upgrade.
So number 2 really surprised me that you didn't get is Stella Artois.
I was going to say Stella, but I thought it was just such a kind of a trampy
Cliche.
drink.
It's like cliche drink. It's like the cliche. The fact that we still got the number one, the right order is fine.
Yeah, you did
I'm
well.
happy
So
with that.
10 in total. 10 altogether. Budweiser, Corona, Kronenberg, Magnus, San Miguel, Heineken, Copperberg, Strombo, Stella, and number 1 is Guinness.
To be fair, we named all the. To be fair, the ones we did name are pretty much the ones that are actually good
So
and the ones
there
that
was
we
only
like.
three ciders, one porter, and the rest lager.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe Coors
I'm surprised that Coors isn't on it. Like I am. Like I would have had Coors on this list over San Miguel. I mean, I think San Miguel is nice, but I would have. Like
I drink Coors, like.
Yeah. It might just be
There
you've
you
got culture,
go.
man. They don't.
Well, there you go.
I do love a Moretti as well, though. I love.
It was nice to tell you what. It was nice to see you two working in tandem and no arguing.
We
It
were
was
playing
just
against each other
beautiful,
first because we thought it was against each other first.
We thought at the start it was against each other, and then we got on track.
What, you think I'd give you 8 lives between you? No chance.
Well, that's what I thought.
4 lives. I was lucky you didn't get 3. I thought I'd be nice. 2 lives lost each. There you go.
Surprisingly enough, myself and Reese actually do pair well together. We are a good
do.
team together.
I think a future of football show next with you two on it again will go absolutely brilliantly.
I'm happy
Guys,
with
it's
that,
been
mate. I don't mind.
Absolute pleasure. We've done well this evening. Reese, where can we find you? What are you up to? And what are your score predictions for United this week against FC 20, please?
I forgot that we were playing Ten Hag's former masters. Well, yeah. So you can find me here. You can find me on now and again. You can find me on the World of Football podcast, where I'll be there tomorrow because we've got our quiz next week. So I'm getting prepped for that. You can find me at the Weekly Steel Chair. You won't find me back on Twitter because I'm off that for a while. I couldn't be arsed because it's a shithole. But then United against FC 20. United 5, 20-0. Because I don't rate FC 20 at all. I don't rate them.
Very nice indeed. Right, Evan, the Jersey man, where can we find you? And I want your predictions for Chelsea Barrow in the League Cup.
Right. Well, you can find me on the other show on this channel, Talk of the League. You can also get me on TikTok, the Jersey Man. I give away free jerseys. I currently have a live competition up there now, and I do dabble on Twitter every now and then, really reposting Sancho praise and Sancho photos at this current moment of time, which I love doing.
You bastard.
Lads, you didn't think I was going to go this whole show without mentioning the GOAT at this point in time.
Well, to be fair, it makes sense that a Chelsea fan is doing well at Chelsea, to be fair.
Exactly. But yeah, they're the main platforms you can find me on. So yeah, stay tuned on them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one. And your prediction for Chelsea Barrow?
Oh yes, Chelsea Barrow. I'm predicting a 3-0 win for tomorrow night.
3-0
for Barrow, aye.
for Barrow. Yeah,
You're a good one, yeah. 3-0
Well,
for
not-
Chelsea.
Not all of us can win 7-0 in the League Cup, but there we are. You can find me at Nate Delves on Twitter. I don't tweet very often, but you can always find me on shows. We've got a few shows coming out this week. There you go. We're looking forward to the next instalment of Men in Black. Cheers, Trevor. Thanks for joining us, mate. And yeah, that's been the Future of Football Old Trafford special.